did you come to church today? I say that, and I paused a little too long there, but we gotta, we ask ourselves, why do we do this? Do we do it by habit? I've gone to church since as long as I can remember. I mean, do I do it by habit? Whereas, are we being pressured? I'm not being pressured now. My wife doesn't pressure me, but we pressure our kids. My kids, they come to worship because I'm coming to worship, and they have no choice. Do we do it to keep peace? Do we do it for the fellowship? Do we do it for friends? Or do we do it because we're hurting and we need healing? There was a father who was driving home, and he's sitting there and he's saying, oh man, those songs were way too loud. And I didn't understand a single one of the announcements. And boy, that preacher, he preached way too long. And his very observant son sitting in the back seat says, yeah, Dad, but it was a pretty good show for $1. Why do we do this? Why do we get together on Sunday and do what we do? Psalm 95, verses 6 and 7 says, come, let us bow down in worship. Let us kneel before the Lord our Maker. For he is our God, and we are the people of his pasture. We are the flock under his care. You see, the Bible tells us the reason why we worship, the primary reason that we attend church is to worship God. To worship God. There was a book written, it's called Exit Interviews, and the author is interviewing people who are no longer involved in the church. And the main reason that comes up for why people and what complaint they have about the church services is not that the service wasn't interesting. It wasn't that the music was too loud or the music was too much or the pastor was too long. It was because worship wasn't worshipful. You get that? It wasn't because of something that was going on in the service. It was that the whole feeling about the worship wasn't worship. They did little to help people meet God. The most significant benefit of a church services is connecting with God. It doesn't matter if the service is interesting. When we don't interact with God, it loses its appeal. We get a glimpse in Acts 2, 42 through 47. We get a good glimpse of what the early church experienced in their worship. And I've read this verse many times, but I've read it here in a sermon many times. I keep coming back to this. It says, they devoted themselves to the apostles' teaching and to the fellowship and to the breaking of bread and to prayer. Okay, there was their worship time. They learned from the apostles. They spent time together. They broke bread and they prayed. And everyone was filled with awe, and many wonders and miraculous signs were done by the apostles. All the believers were together and had everything in common, selling their possessions and goods they gave to anyone as they had need. Every day they continued to meet in the temple courts. They broke bread in their homes and ate together with glad and sincere hearts, praising God and enjoying the favor of the people. And the Lord added to their number daily those who were being saved. A great picture of worship in the early church. And a great picture of what worship should be for us. See, today I want to talk about worship. I want to talk about why we worship, how we can make it meaningful here at Living Faith.